Hello, everyone.
Oh, we supposed to say hi? Hi.
Yes, y'all gonna be silent. Y'all both been guests on
I
the
thought
show
you
before.
talking to the people
I was thinking the
live.
same thing.
I thought you talking to the
I
audience.
don't even know who's on yet. Let me log into the people's YouTube and see if anybody's even there. Goodness, y'all, I'm like, both of them didn't say nothing. Neither one of them said anything.
Well, we thinking the same. I was like, all right.
How y'all managed to do that?
That's hilarious.
I don't understand how the both of you, were sitting there in silence, but it's okay. It's all right. It is okay. I get it. So, hi guys.
Hey.
How are you?
You know what? Too blessed to be stressed. Can't complain.
Amen to that.
That part. I mean, if you wanted to complain, I wouldn't consider it complaining. I would look at it as venting, getting things off your chest. Not really complaining. And
A release.
I think our language matters.
Exactly.
Sure.
And I give you the space that you needed to get all that out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because you deserve All right, guys. Welcome to Pandagasms. Hostess Amanda. Hey. And our lovely guest today, we have Emara. Come on, Rik. Give us some love. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey, what y'all need? Some soca real quick? Y'all need I need y'all
Feel
to
the energy a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, see, there we go. E. There we go. All right. We've got a little livelier there. See, soca gives everybody powers, not just
It surely does.
Everybody gets powers with the soca. And then we have Mr. Lovely Rik. Hey, Rik.
What's going on? What's going on? Happy to be here.
All is well. All is well. Happy Wednesday, everybody. What is it? What is it called? Hump Day. Happy Hump Day.
Yeah.
Brain fart just now.
Yeah, I do like that.
Everybody having a good day? Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Every day's a good day. We're live. We're here.
Amen.
Moving forward.
So, because we are here today to enjoy this lovely day, let's give the people some beautiful knowledge. You want to start off, Emara, with what you are here to give us information about?
No, not particularly. Whatever it is.
What are you saying?
Whatever it is you want to talk about, we start talking and it just rolls into a whole bunch of different things. But for those who don't know me, I have been a frequent guest on Pandagasms. So I am Emara Hercules. I am, quote unquote, a financial therapist. I do have a full service financial services company. I want to be my one-stop shop, helping people in our community, helping people who look like us get to their financial goals. There are a lot of resources out there that don't make it to our front door, that don't make it onto our computer, that don't make it into our hands, right? And into our minds. And I hope that I can bridge that gap for a lot of my clients and provide those resources and tools to people in our community. That's what I'm here for.
That is why I have you.
That's why you use me and abuse me, right?
I don't use it, baby, because it's appreciated. It's only abuse when people don't appreciate it and don't reciprocate the love in their way.
Very much so.
Okay, at all times, baby.
And as you know, it is tax season. So
yes, it is tax season, and that is one of the main reasons also that I have you on the show tonight. Mr. Rik, do you want to give a brief description of who you are, what you do?
Absolutely. Oh, as you all know, I'm a Rik Harper. I'm actually what we call a wealth educator for all areas in credit and financial. I actually share a service that helps people, strengthen their credit and financial profile, allowing them to meet their financial goals. through various areas. We're really all about the education and teaching people how to be intentional about building their credit, building their profile, budgeting, saving, things of that nature. Just things that they didn't teach us in school that are very instrumental into building wealth and legacy. So I'm, very excited to share what I know about that journey.
I love it. This is going to be an amazing episode tonight because who doesn't like talking about money? Who doesn't like to make money so that they can spend it in the best way possible while still having a cushion, right? We don't want to be life broke. We don't want to be broke at all. So we're trying to do the best we can with what we have. And now that we have lovely resources like you guys, we can discuss all of that. And like you mentioned, it is tax season. So for those of you who have tax questions that are tuned in, this is the perfect time to ask all those tax questions. If you haven't filed, if you have filed, small business owners, the things are different for us. So please don't play around with Uncle Sam when it comes to doing your taxes. I do not recommend that. Gets 0 stars from me. So this is the time now to use these people, not use them. This is the time now
to use and abuse us.
Yeah.
I do have a question for Emara. So, as a small business owner, say for example, I'm freelancing with someone in India. How would I be able to use that as a tax write-off? Can I use that as a tax write-off?
Well, it depends on what you're using this freelancer for. And if their services are pertaining to the operation of your business, the execution of your business, the setting up of your business, your day-to-day practices, if they're facilitating you with marketing, advertising, doing administrative back-end support for you, if you're using them as a receptionist, customer service tool, if you're using them to set up your website, whatever, as long as their services are pertaining to the functionality of your company, you can write that service and those fees off. Yes.
That is good to know.
Yes, because I know that you do have assistance and support that is international. So you would just have to, of course, abide by the exchange rate of what you're paying them if there's an exchange rate and money difference. And yeah, as long as you have invoices, you invoice that person or they invoice you, you pay that person, you can definitely deduct that.
Good to know.
Paper trail. Well, you already know, and we've had these conversations several times, a lot of small businesses do not have proper paperwork. Everybody wants to do everything Cash App and Zelle and, the money in the bra and the money under the mattress and handing it to somebody or whatever. But it's always great to invoice people or keep receipts. You don't have to keep the physical paper. Scan it, take a photo of it, upload it to an app or something. Just have your documentation on hand.
Understood. So would that even apply to Cash App and all those third-party payments as well?
Yeah, it does actually, because you know that the federal government had passed a law that they wanted Zelle, Cash App, and all these third-party payment tools and resources to start providing people 1099s if they were receiving payments in over $600. Now, some of them have been abiding by that, but not everybody has been. So it is up to you as the business owner to, again, keep your books in order, keep your paperwork, your receipts, your ledgers, however you do it. If you do it via paper, if you do it electronically, your bookkeeping source, keep track of what you have going on.
Got it. Do you have any questions for her, Rik?
Not really. That was pretty self-explanatory, if you ask me.
It sounds self-explanatory when you know
Right.
and when you understand. But if it's something like you didn't think of, nobody's explained it to you, you're not sure of, like where are you getting that information from? Because if you put that question into Google, like how many different answers you're going to come up with. And it's like backwards, sideways. The internet is such a powerful tool, but it's also very convoluted now. And it's very hard to get straightforward answers for everyday questions.
Very true. You got to be able to sort through all the noise.
And then if you don't know what you're really looking for, how can you take for face value the information that it's providing to you?
Indeed, indeed. So I have another question. You know how sometimes as entrepreneurs, we hire our children to do tasks to maintain the daily events of the business. And say these said employees have braces. Is that tax deductible?
The braces.
I'm laughing, but I'm so serious.
The braces are not tax deductible from the business because the braces do not provide support nor operational functionality for the business. The braces, though, are a medical deduction for you on your personal taxes if you paid out of pocket for that. And all co-payments, medications, doctor visits, dentist visits, those add up over time. And if it's a decent amount, I think it's a 7.5% of your AGI, then you will get, credits and tax deductions back from that.
You know what?
You start adding up some receipts, right?
Because I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I found that out. So hopefully this information is getting out to people who didn't know this stuff either, because I definitely was waiting for this show and I was calculating the questions in my head like, we gonna be ready for some questions.
But the thing is, it has to be a significant amount, 7.5% of your AGI. So, a little $20 a month co-payment isn't going to make a difference. But, braces could end up being, $5,000, $6,000 on its own. And then if you have to do the co-payments for the doctor visits, the follow-ups, and all the equipment that come along with it, the cleaning tools, the rubber bands, whatever else that comes along with that, those added all together can add up eventually.
See, still good to know. Now, for those of us that are not in the tax field, financial field, what is AGI?
Adjusted gross income.
Okay.
So once you add up all your W-2s, once you add up all your self-employed business income, interest income, retirement, whatever income you have, put that all together, right? Then you deduct your standard deduction that the federal government gives you. Everybody gets a standard deduction when they're filing their taxes, mix all these numbers up, spits out your AGI.
She said it spits it out.
Yeah, literally, it spits it out.
It's like, it's real good to know. So now, say we don't pay these doctor bills, et cetera, and they end up on our credit report. How do we handle that, Mr. Rik Harper?
That's a great question.
Well, like anything that's affecting you negatively, a lot of times it starts with a dispute of some kind to challenge the validity of what's being put on your report. The tricky thing about credit reports is that it's not always about whether or not you actually owe the debt of any kind, more so whether or not it's being reported accurately, who's doing the reporting, especially when it comes to medical bills. Because there's certain things within medical situations. So like when things go into collections, a lot of times that's a violation of HIPAA laws. If that collection agency is not affiliated directly with the hospital that is handling your medical situation, then they legally cannot pass that type of information off to a third-party collection agency. These are things that you need to know when it comes down to how it affects your credit, because just because you owe the debt doesn't necessarily mean that it has to affect your credit. You can actually get that off, and therefore allowing you to keep the credit score that you had, so you can continue to leverage it in order to manage those finances moving forward. Because you cripple yourself on that end, then it gets harder and harder if you don't have the cash to cover all those expenses. If that makes sense.
And a lot of people don't know that, medical bills should not be reported by a third-party agency on your credit report, because again, who knows what HIPAA laws are? unless you're working in, a medical field or you're in the financial industry and you know this. So it's like, oh my God, why is, this doctor office bill is on my thing? So you're just thinking, you owe, maybe, you owe it. But the fact that it's now there, if you don't speak to someone who understands what are your rights as a consumer in the market, you wouldn't know how to deal with that.
Absolutely. And all the consumer laws are in your favor as a consumer. But again, they don't teach this in school.
And it's hard to find on the internet.
Exactly. And they know this. The credit bureaus, they know that most consumers don't know their rights and how it benefits them. So they take advantage of that. Same thing with collection agencies. They know that they don't have a right to collect from you unless you validate that debt. So they're going to use their tricks and all the little things that they do to get you to validate it for them so they can lock you in. And if you don't know the laws and how they protect you, you can walk yourself into a trap. And I talk to people every day who have done exactly that. Similar stories, different people, and it never fails.
You know what's so funny when it comes to credit, and like you have negative things on your credit report? I'm like, deny everything, fight everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't recognize this debt. Do me a favor, send that to the address that you have on file.
Mm-hmm. I probably lived there like 10 years ago.
I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that.
I don't have to provide that information. And that's another thing. When these collections and credit companies, and Rick, you could probably attest to this, when they call you on the phone and they're like, hi, can I speak to, Emara Hercules? And I'm like, okay, who is this? They're like, well, I'm so-and-so. I need to verify your information. You do not have to provide them your information for verification. You don't have to provide them your social. You do not have to provide them your name, your date of birth, or your address. All of that is PHI, and that's part of it. They're using that information now to verify that it's you and to update their records. So now that they can contact you. You don't want to reach out to me, right? You call me, right? Exactly. So I'm like, you tell me what information you have on file. Oh, I can't do that, so on. So I said, okay, well, you have a nice day. Click.
Yeah. If they want that validation, they're going to have to
exactly.
So send me whatever you have to whatever address you have on file, and if it's my address, we'll see what it is.
Yep.
And what is PHI?
Protected health information.
Okay, thank you for letting the listeners know.
And then PHI is protected health information. So it's pretty much all your personal demographical information: your first name, your last name, your date of birth, your social, your address. These are like identifying markers that are specific to you, and that is protected under HIPAA laws.
Sounds good.
I know, because I used to work in the medical field. in compliance in the medical field at that. So
this is why this information is great. And so right now, is that what you do? You assist people with getting all these things off their credit?
Deny.
Yeah.
How to deny, pretty much.
Absolutely. Amongst other things, believe it or not, credit repair or restoration is just one aspect of helping somebody establish or reestablish a strong credit file. Everyone's situation is different, so I have to talk to them individually to see what their pain point is and exactly what direction we need to take in order to build them up. But yes, essentially, a lot of the times when it comes down to negative items on their credit report, what we're going to end up doing is disputing them so that we can replace the negative items with positive items, which ultimately creates a track record of positive payments. And then depending on how long they've been building credit, that by default triggers another component like your credit age, which you get points for that as well. And all these different components, they translate into points. So getting them to understand that data and how to leverage it is how we get them to whatever score that they're looking for. I never encourage people to aim for a certain score as much as just being intentional about the data. The score is going to happen by default.
Be intentional. Right. The score is going to happen by default.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Listen. And where are you located, Rick? Just for the people that just joined us, if anyone.
I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts.
And Emara, where are you located for anyone that just joined us?
I'm international.
Yes, you are international. This is so true. So where are you licensed in? let me fix the question. Let me rephrase the question. What states are you licensed in?
I'm licensed in most states in the U.S. So I do have clients literally up and down the East Coast. And pretty much I probably have at least one client in every state along the East Coast. And Ohio and Texas. And I kind of stay away from California. California has like some funky tax laws and stuff. So I kind of stay away from that. But my clients, it doesn't matter where you are. I'm definitely able to assist.
Yeah,
in all states. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. It's all 50 states, Cayman Islands. We're actually working on Puerto Rico as well. Actually, no, we have Puerto Rico working on Canada. So Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, and the rest of the United States.
Canada got some funky laws too. So.
Probably why it's taking so long.
See, I know. When you're in the financial industry, you just know kind of where you don't want to put your big toe in. You kind of stay away from that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Atlanta is a sweet spot for us when it comes down to funky laws and credit. It's just the fastest way to get sued is to violate Atlanta law, and they're always changing.
But it's a crazy law in Atlanta that is easy to break or something that you want to stay away from.
Well, so a lot of these companies that do just simple credit repair, a lot of them have like a network marketing aspect to it, which basically allows anybody to get trained and to at least share a service. But you got to be compliant when you do that because you're representing people's finances. And a lot of these people, because they're just trying to get a buck, they tend to create problems for the company that they're representing by doing things out of compliance. And honestly, I can go through a laundry list of what those violations are, but they don't really affect your everyday consumer as much as the business that's trying to do the work. So yeah, when you're trying to do certain things in states like Atlanta, when it comes to credit, you gotta be very careful. Like you can't charge in Atlanta for credit repair without actually getting them results. You know, so a lot of people will charge you ahead of time, and that's a huge violation. Yeah.
And there was like a big lawsuit. I want to say if it wasn't maybe 2 years ago with like one of these multi-level marketing companies. Like they were just all over social media. Anybody could join. You can sign up to be an agent with them, and then you sign up your clients, or clients sign up with you. It was just maybe like $100 or something like that to do it. When I tell you this company was in violation of so many laws in so many different states, like they had to kind of like shut down because they weren't in compliance. And when you cross state lines, when you're in financial services, you have to either, maybe be licensed depending on what your field is. So like I'm licensed for life insurance in several states so that I'm in compliance with that state and what they can offer and things like that. Credit repair, you have to be compliant by that state law on your reporting, advertising, like he said, the fees that you're charging clients, when and how much. Some states have laws on how much you can charge a client for these things. And yeah, that company had to like kind of shut down. They were like, oh, we're a nonprofit, or they were spitting some lies out here in these streets and whatever. So it happens. It happens a lot. And, innocent bystanders, people signing up, hoping that their credit, of course, would be fixed and things would be done and nothing was happening. So you definitely want to go to a reputable, source and company to get things done.
Right. And I feel like I should mention that when it comes to companies like that, a lot of times the problem isn't with the company itself as much as the agents that are signing up. Desperate for the paycheck, that they're just not doing things right and they're making promises.
And sometimes it's hard to have that oversight on all these different agents and what they're doing.
100%.
And then if they have access to your personal data and information, now what are they doing with that information? Identity theft is such a big thing. And I'm sure, Rik, you probably have a lot of clients who have been affected by identity theft.
Absolutely.
Come to you like, I don't know, I never had this card, I never worked at this job, like wait, I have a car loan in my name, how?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like
Yeah.
how, sway, how did that
Yeah.
happen? Like
Yeah.
identity theft, because cyber crime is such a big thing, it's so easy now, and it's so hard if you don't check your credit report all the time,
Yeah.
like even your bank account, like we're in an age where we like tap tap swipe swipe everywhere. Like how often do you really go through your bank account or your credit card to verify the purchases and charges that are on there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's very important that everyone, especially as they're on their journey of building their credit finances, that they put things in place like identity theft protection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important because, like you said, that's probably cyber crimes are probably one of the fastest growing crimes in the world. I
Mm-hmm.
know for a fact the statistics say that every 2 seconds someone's identity gets stolen.
And
Just
you
like
know,
that, someone's identity got stolen.
not all the time it be people that you don't know. Sometimes it be these people mamas when they was babies and their parents done jacked up
Yeah.
their credit, done took their socials and got all type of bills in their names and never paid the bills and that too. So do you help people with that also, Rick? Like
Yeah.
identity theft and
Oh
clearing
yeah.
up all that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of times, I when it comes to that, I can usually tell, like if they already were starting with a low credit score, something below a 650, and then they're saying, my score went from 600 down to 400, and it turns out to be identity theft. A lot of times, that's when it's a family member or someone close to them that did that, because
A
most
boyfriend
people.
or a girlfriend,
Right. Because usually, when it comes down to hackers, they're not targeting, not to be funny, but they're not targeting anyone with a 500 credit score or 600 credit score. It's when you actually do something for yourself and you're in the 700, 800 club. That's when you become a target. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important to protect your identity ahead of time, so that when you get to that place, at the very least you're covered. Because it's not a matter of if it happens to you, but when. And it's going to happen to everyone at some point, and the difference is whether or not you're protected when it does, and that you can retain anything that you lost, and you can continue to function. Because identity theft is one of the worst crimes to come up from under too.
And I'm pretty sure it's a lengthy process to get that taken care
Oh,
of.
100%.
Yeah, because you really have to prove that it
Who you
wasn't
are.
It wasn't
you.
you. It
Yeah.
was me. And then it didn't
Yeah,
exist.
Yeah.
Shaggy. Like we
Yeah.
gonna play the Shaggy remix over
Absolutely.
here. Like,
Listen, they need to put that on somebody's advertisement, Rich. It was
Absolutely.
me. It wasn't
and
me.
it's hard to prove that it wasn't you. Like, and then especially if it's something that backdates, whenever, like how do you prove that it was not you that made this actual purchase?
And
That's why,
that's,
a lot of these banks and companies have like alerts now to if you like a charge seems kind of off than what they're accustomed to seeing you doing and stuff like that. You get a text message or an email like, is this you? Or do you recognize this purchase? Those are important, and you can set up your own alerts, like for spending limits. Like if you spend $125, anything over that, you get an alert. That's a great added feature that you can do, so that now you have to approve everything. So at least if $125 goes missing out your account, it's better than $10,025 or whatever. So
There's definitely a catch-22 with that. It's frustrating when you have to set it up, but when it'll help people budget better because now you can't spend over that much without
it
having.
literally takes like not even 5 minutes. Like I did it with my Chase bank. I bank with Chase. Literally, you go in there, they have the preferences option, set alert, you swipe right to set the alert, put in your amount, click yes, done. Like like I feel like a lot of the times people make things seem way more harder than what it really is. And it's
Definitely.
a poor excuse. It's a poor excuse for peace of mind and safety.
Yeah.
I like my money. I work too hard for my money.
Hello. Talk about it.
So I'm alert. Okay, yes, Chase, thank you. Alert me all the time, so I know that y'all doing y'all job. Y'all doing y'all job and keeping my money safe.
Absolutely.
So you just mentioned that you also do life insurance, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Life
You know
insurance.
this.
I know this, but the viewers don't. Listen. I'm trying to educate the masses Okay. Yeah. Tonight, we're going to have a little bit of jokes, but mostly seriousness. Once in a blue moon, we could be serious sometimes. Not too serious.
I mean, we're always serious. This is serious. These are serious topics that we're discussing, you know, but we just want to give it to people with a spoonful of sugar. So,
are life insurance payments tax deductible?
Long-term life insurance is a tax deductible feature. You can put your payments for long-term care insurance. Yes. You can deduct insurance, life insurance on a business taxes. Yes, you can. And you can put for your business to actually pay your life insurance plan. I actually have set up several of my clients to have their company pay their life insurance policy as their form of retirement plan. It's an expense for the company.
Wow.
You see? You see? I like it. I like it. Now, what type of life insurance do you sell?
I do not sell life insurance.
Sorry, you know what what would be a better way to rephrase that?
I am licensed to provide life insurance resources and options in the form of term, whole life, and permanent life.
Do you want to explain that to the masses? Because I know what the difference between those
we should put like a glossary of terms like at the ends of the
because as Pandagasms is expanding, we're reaching out also to the younger masses, which I absolutely love because they need to be educated about it quicker than we were. You know,
let me tell you, I have what are we? I think like I'm still trying to get this whole millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, I'm lost with all of this stuff. So I believe I'm a millennial. And I think like the generation after is like Gen Z or whatever. So I have a lot of clients who are in that 25 age range. They woke. They know not to make the same mistakes that their parents or older siblings have made. They are the ones coming to me asking me about index funds and, you know, permanent life insurance. And I love it. I love how inquisitive they are. I like how self-aware that they are and financially driven that they are when they come into these things, you know? So term life insurance just sounds like how it is. Term means temporary. So you usually can get a policy for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and they have 35 years now. And that's what it is. After the end of that cycle, after the end of that term, you no longer have life insurance. Why do some people go with term life insurance? One, it tends to be cheaper than all the other possible options out there. So if you're just looking to have something, maybe you're young, you just want to have something just in case. Maybe, you know, you're not financially capable to have something more. So you want to just, again, have something just in case, you go with that. Also, if you have a business or if you have properties, you know, if you own a home, having a term life insurance policy that can cover your mortgage, God forbid something happens to you, your beneficiaries will have the property and your mortgage could be paid off. We talk about generational wealth, right? A lot of the times in our community, people lose their homes because their dependents or their beneficiaries are unable to pay the mortgage and unable to pay the expenses to upkeep and maintain the home. So having a term policy, the same amount as your mortgage, will help to alleviate that burden. At least, you know, the home is paid and bought for. So they probably would just have to pay property taxes and whatever, you know, maintenance fees going on, which would be way more minimal than having a high mortgage to still pay. Whole life is exactly what it says. It's usually up until age 100. Whole life tends to come with an interest rate so that you can earn interest income or dividends inside the policy. It's usually at a low rate of anywhere between like 0 to 4%, usually at the most. That's a great option again, because now you have coverage up until a later age in life. You won't have to renew the policy. You'll have it up until whatever age you set there. And then you can get dividends and payouts from it. Your beneficiaries are covered. Permanent life, exactly what it says. It's literally until the day you die, 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 die. So you can live to 100 and probably 15 and you will still have life insurance, right? It also comes with being invested in S&P 500, index funds, and things like that. You know me, Panda. I tend to gravitate towards the permanent life a little bit more because I like to use it as a living policy instead of looking at it as just death benefits for my beneficiaries, right? Because you can save inside of it, you can contribute more because it is invested in index funds. So you tend to earn interest on it. You can withdraw that money tax free, as opposed to people who may have a 401k or a 403b with like their present employer. When you withdraw money from those accounts, you have to pay taxes on it, not on this. So you will have life insurance coverage, but you can also use it as a savings mechanism or a retirement savings tool. And use the money for what you want. You know, when you have a 401k or 403b, you can only make withdrawals if you want to purchase your first home or if you have like a medical issue and things like that. But this is your money in the permanent insurance policy. So if you need it to, buy a car, if you need it to buy a house for your kids, or, I have kids who have policies because their parents are using this to save for them as opposed to saving in a regular bank account, because most bank accounts, you're not earning any interest anymore unless you have like a money market account or some type of other interest bearing account. So instead of just have your money sitting there and losing value, they're saving in these types of policies for their kids, and then their kids could use it, pay for college if they want, buy a house, buy a car, start up a business, whatever. There is no caveat as to what you can do with this money. It's yours.
I like all of that. See, the more you know.
The more you know, the better you can do.
Absolutely. And this is what get us to financial freedom and building more generational wealth within the culture, because boy oh boy, we're slacking. There's money, but just not spending it the right way. That's the part. We have piss poor habits.
Yeah, we're responsible for most of this country's wealth.
We are.
Yes, we're the biggest consumers.
We are. Did you see what Donald Trump is doing with the sneakers?
Yes.
He's going to put sneakers in the urban neighborhoods, and he's going to sell it for like $300 because he knows the urban neighborhoods are going to buy them. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then you got people like Fat Joe solidifying it. Like, oh, I got mine. Like, well, once that happens.
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Now all the Puerto Ricans in the Bronx gonna have it. Oh gosh.
And another thing that you're pretty knowledgeable in is wills and trusts, Emara. Do you want to dip and dabble? Because when you recently did a show or a broadcasting about it, and I was like, let me do my research and look into wills and trusts. And before I looked it up, I thought they were kind of like one and the same. One was for while you're alive, and one was for when you pass. So I got my own research done, and but still.
So what did you find out in doing your own research?
I found out that the trust for me would be better because, I have the business and all that other stuff. And it's safer because, once I transition, the kids wouldn't have to go through probate court and all that. It's easier for them to gain access to them, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did recently do a Zoom with this wonderful lawyer, Shayna Jones-McGrone. I think what we were discussing on the Zoom was like, it's better to have something than nothing. I think we said that several times when we were going through the Zoom. And that being said is, again, in our communities, you know, we think, oh, we ain't got much, we didn't do this, da, 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 so we don't need to have anything, you know, set in stone. They gonna figure it out. They gonna know what to do, whatever. Please stop thinking that.
It's horrible.
It's hard. I mean, I'm a first generation Caribbean American, right? Both my parents are immigrants. I'm the first one in my family born in the US to go to college. I'm the oldest of my siblings and all these types of things. I told both of my parents, if y'all don't have life insurance, you better get some because I ain't got no money to bury you. I literally told my mother and my father, who are both still very much alive, y'all better get some life insurance because I do not have any money to bury you. My money is for me and my children. Like, and you know me, Panda, I'm very
direct and to the point. I know. Oh, I know.
You know what they did?
That's why
they went and got life insurance.
I already know how that conversation went. I already.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, and again, it's our culture and community, we don't talk about finances, we don't talk about money, we don't talk about death. You know, these are just, and we have these conversations so much, it's just so taboo in our culture, in our community. But when that day comes, because all of us are going to face that day, you know, what is going to happen? What are we going to do? Most people don't know where your important documents are because you never sat down. Your mother, oh, no, I don't want to talk about that now. We'll talk about it later. But you don't know if she got any money in the bank. You don't know if she ever had a life insurance policy, if she ever had retirement, pension, this, that, and the third. You don't know where anything is. We need to do better because now we do know better, right? We may not know all the steps and all the tools, but we know things have to be spoken about. We need to have these difficult conversations and at least know where things are. If you hiding money under the mattress, mommy, what side is it on? So I know where to go and look for it, right? Where are all your important papers? Is it in the closet? Is it in the hamper? You know, like like where is it? Like even just that. Even just that, right? So having a will is a great first step for just one, outlining what you want to have done to you when you are no longer here. Don't assume that your friends, your spouse, your kids, or whoever knows what you want, what your well wishes are. And then don't leave it up to them to now start arguing as to, well, no, she wouldn't or he wouldn't, and da da da. And why would you think that? Just have it, because you don't, it's already a trying time losing a loved one and losing someone you care about, right? So make it easy. Have that done. So you can have that in a will. Also, a will can consist of your healthcare proxy, right? So maybe you didn't pass away. Maybe you're incapacitated now, right? Who is going to make those tough medical decisions for you? If you have multiple children, which one are you going to put as your healthcare proxy? If your parents are alive, are you going to put them? If you have no dependents, who is a friend, a cousin, an uncle, an auntie, or whatever that you are going to have in that place that you know that they would make the best decisions for you, right? Don't leave it up to chance. The other thing with that is your bank accounts, right? Do you have beneficiaries listed on your bank accounts?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think I do.
See? And then if you have beneficiaries who are under the age of 18 and you passed away, they would not be able to have access to that money.
Right.
So if you have dependents or if you have younger kids that you want to receive some of your assets, you need to specify that. And who is the guardian for them if you are no longer here? All of these things will go into a will, you know, especially if you have multiple dependents, you know, you have a life insurance policy, you have this, you have that. You can dictate exactly who gets what, how everything is delineated And it just makes it such a smoother process for everyone because you already thought about it when you were no longer here or when you're no longer able to make those decisions with them, right? So that's one part. And that's for everybody. Everybody should, like, again, at least have something. So having that makes it a lot easier, right? Now, the trust part is definitely better if you own property, if you do have a business and things like that, because now you're talking about succession planning, right? Who is going to take over your business when you are no longer here? Especially if you have partners in your business, right? And it's maybe 50-50, 30-30. Who gets your piece of the business? Are you leaving it to the kids? Are you selling it off? Are you just passing it on to your partner? Are you just closing out the business completely? What is happening to that? You have a property now. Okay, is it going to one person? Is it 3 people? Do you want them to sell the property and then divide the money amongst certain people? All of that gets talked about and put into there. And then they have it where it's a living trust. So you already have it. And as you have new businesses, close businesses, acquire property, make more money, you can update these things in there. And then the lawyer had suggested that you do so about every 3 years. So you can update things because in the event that you just poop, you're no longer here, at least you already have everything updated and going forward in there. So it's all set for you. And then, as you mentioned, to avoid probate court, right? Because a lot of people don't know about probate court.
They don't until
you're in it, right?
Yeah.
And that's when the government gonna take more of your money after you're dead.
More money.
More of your money. Like they ain't take enough of it while you alive. Now they're gonna take more of it after you gone, right? And what they like to call it, or what we call it, is like a death tax, pretty much. Because you did not put these things in place, your will, your trust, or whatever. So now the court has to go through all your estate, everything that you got going on, and now figure out what is the best way to do it. Are you the rightful beneficiary for this? Is it supposed to go to multiple people? So on and so forth. And depending on what state you're in, it could be anywhere from like 30 to 80% of the estate value that goes to probate fees. Damn. 30 to 80% of your estate goes to probate fees.
Yeah.
At that point, it's not even worth the fight.
Yeah.
And it can take years.
Yeah.
Depending on what state you're in.
Yeah. So when you think about people, certain like celebrities like Prince and Aretha Franklin, even Michael Jackson, these are all people that didn't have these things in place, and their families had to go through probate court. And you already know, with that much money, especially with all the legacy involved, that the spoiled attitudes, I know that was a fight.
Yeah. But at least they have the money to forego 30 to 80%. If you add up your little stuff and all you got is $100,000 worth of everything, and you lose 30,000 of that, you lose 80,000 of that, just because. Come on now.
So I have a question for you, Rik. Sure. So say when someone passes away and they have things on their credit report, what happens to those things on the credit report? Does it go to the family, or is it just like, oh well, they're gone, that's it?
It can. Again, it really just comes down, because when you pass away and you don't have things in place, it's up to your family to take care of that. So there are certain debts that will get passed down to the family, especially with medical stuff. And not too many things that are in collections per se, but anything that's detrimental to the bottom line of the family, more than likely whoever's left behind will have to pick that up.
And it's mostly directly related to the spouse. Your debts will pass on directly to your spouse.
The closest family member, right? The closest direct family member. Right.
It can kind of get a little sticky, like you said, like if you have dependents and children and things like
Mhm.
that, but definitely directly to your spouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to make sure your spouse is on top of their finances as well, because depending on who goes first, whoever's left over has to take that over.
Absolutely.
Wow. So I thought it went to the children. So you guys just corrected what I thought. Is that?
Yeah.
Interesting. You guys, this has been juicy information. We've had the people about 45 minutes. No one has asked any questions. No one has said, well, one person said hello. Two people said hello. Hey guys, thank you.
Hi, thank you for tuning in.
I think that was, oh, and I did have another question. So someone did want to know for you, Emara, if someone doesn't file their taxes, like we know we should, but if you didn't want to, is it okay not to? And if you don't, what happens when you don't file?
So the issue really comes in is if you would owe taxes, right? So maybe you worked on a W-2 or you have a business. And definitely if you have a business, you need to file taxes like that. I feel like that should go without saying, but some of these business owners don't be doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to say it. If you own a business, an LLC, a S Corp, a partnership, a nonprofit, like especially a nonprofit or a corporation, you should be filing your taxes. Yes, 100%.
Quarterly.
Anywho.
We coming for the peoples, okay? Do you file taxes quarterly, Rick?
Oh, absolutely.
Who do you file? Do you have Emara?
No, we're just.
Like you might need to make some connections.
We need to rectify that. We need to rectify that.
Yes, we do. We need to definitely rectify that. You two need to collab so y'all can help each other with each other's clients. I don't see why one hand can't wash the other.
No, that's what we're all about.
Two hands claps together.
We are building. Yeah. That's right. We are
100%.
building. This is what it's about. We are trying to get all this information through the community, through the networks of the platform, to all the first generation Americans whose families are from the Caribbean that know absolutely nothing about this lifestyle, and they're just learning, and we're teaching them. So for all that, anybody in the comments have questions, comments, or concerns? We got a few hellos. That's about it.
But let me finish answer the second part to your question, Panda. So if everything gets reported to the IRS, right? Especially if you're working on a W-2, your job is reporting that information to the IRS. If you are getting paid on a 1099 because you're a freelancer or your job decides to pay you off the books, but they still issue you a 1099, that is getting reported to the IRS. If you do not file, especially if you would owe taxes, and you would most likely owe taxes on a 1099 because you're getting paid in straight cash. They are not taking out federal, Social Security, Medicare, FICA, none of those taxes. They are going to come after you. And they have no holds bar on how many years that they will come after you. People are like, oh, I thought that they could only go back yeah, they could only go back such and such, and they're going to keep going and keep going and keep going because they want their money.
I thought it was like a statute as well.
It is that they're really not supposed to go back more than 7 years. I've seen them go back as far as 10 years. And they will find ways to legitimize that.
Yeah, they'll find ways to restart that statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So we do have a question. Where do I go to start a living trust?
You could come to me and I can refer you to my lawyer. So my website is herculesfinancialsg.com, or you can email me directly at info@herculesfinancial, S as in Sam, G as in George.com, and we can set up an appointment. The lawyer that I do partner with, she is immaculate. She's actually doing my trust, my living trust. I have several businesses. I do have 2 small children, and things like that. So I have to lead by example, right? And I cannot preach these things to my clients if I don't do it myself. So I can definitely put you, she does do free consultations with clients and everything. So reach out to me and we will get that situated for you.
Sounds good. I definitely put your contact information in the comments.
Awesome. Don't call me, email me.
No, I did. I put the info at HerculesFinancials.com. That's correct.
Hercules Financial, S as in Sam, G as in George.com.
G. Uh-oh.
Y'all
G. Add the G, y'all. Add the G.
Yes.
So, Rik, I also had a quick question for you. If someone is just starting out with the credit history, what does your credit report start at?
Well, if we're talking, there's two. All right. So I guess the best way to answer this is that if you're checking something like a Credit Karma, they're going to show you your Vantage score versus your FICO score. That's what most people are looking at.
Credit Karma.
Don't do it. But when you're starting off, you're usually building your Vantage score up into the first 6 months, which then triggers your FICO score. So at the FICO level, the lowest your score is ever going to be is a 300. So you'll never get any lower than 300, and then you're kind of building your score from there all the way up to an 850 by leveraging those components, that data we was talking about earlier.
If you are at a 300, people, you don't want to be at a 300. Okay?
Yeah, you're getting nothing done. You're getting nothing done. The good news is no one can steal anything from you
at all.
Because you ain't got nothing that they want.
Hey, that's what somebody would say. You don't have a pot to piss in a window to throw it out of if you got a 300 score.
100%.
Lord have mercy. Rik, what did you say on your status the other day? If your score was something for Valentine's Day, give them your information to bring it up or something like that. And I was in stitches. What was the joke?
Oh, something like if your lady's credit score is in the low 400, something like that, she doesn't need candy or flowers. She needs me.
Right, that's right.
That is cool.
I was like, look at the shade.
I'm gonna make you think about it. That's my job.
Rik, can you talk about like a good way to help kids, develop credit?
Yes. A lot of people, especially when their child is under 18, a lot of people will, while they're on their own credit journey, they'll attempt to make their child an authorized user on their credit cards. I always suggest, however, that you wait until they're like 16 or so before you start that journey, only because way too much can go wrong. Like, so a lot of people will start at 13, and the idea makes sense, the logic. They can get years of history, but if you're not commonly practicing good habits, or if this is something that you're trying to keep up with, you're developing that skill set, you can make a mistake that could damage not only your credit but theirs. And then by the time they're 18, now they have to deal with whatever negative track record you've left behind, and trying to build their own credit. But typically around 16 or so, you want to put them on to as an authorized user. And then you just continue to build your own credit, knowing that theirs is that your score is their score. And in that time frame, I would suggest teaching your kid the habits that come with leveraging a credit score, what the rules behind using a credit card, so that when they turn 18, they go to college, they start firing those credit cards at them. They'll know what to do rather than making the same mistakes that most of us do, which is max it out and then never pay it back thinking it's free money. So that's really what it just comes down to. It's just as long as you know the rules and then you teach them the rules while they're as an authorized user on your credit situation, then that'll transition nicely when they turn 18.
So hold on, it's not free money. So I can't
absolutely
out and then go
you gotta pay it back.
Go get another tax it out. I can't do that.
No, got to pay back. In fact, if the actual money you bring in does not allow you to cover what you're spending, then you're already making a mistake. If you can't pay that off,
and that's what a lot of people do.
Back. One more time.
Say that again.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
And if your income does not cover the amount that you're spending with that credit card, then you are already messing up. You need if you get paid in 2 weeks and that check is not going to cover what you spent, then you're already putting yourself in a situation where you will not be able, where your credit score is going to go down rather than go up, and you're more likely going to stay there until you fix that inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Thank you guys for all the information that we gave people tonight.
We got any more questions before we go?
I don't have any more questions. I think I've asked all the questions I needed to ask. And I don't see any questions in the comments here. I see a lot of hellos, and I do want to thank everyone that's tuned in for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching.
Absolutely.
But real quick, ask your questions before they go. Emara has information on wills, trust, taxes, life insurance. If she doesn't do it, she knows someone that does. Rik, he can repair your credit if you're down at 300 because your mama put Eversource in your name. Reach out to Rik, let him fix it. If you have a 300 credit score and you're looking to date, don't do it because you don't got no money. You don't know how to work your bills. So reach out to Rik. Rik, do you want to put your information in the comments so that people can find you? You too, Emara, because I done butchered up your email address.
I don't even know how to do this. How do I do that?
I actually wasn't on the.
You weren't? Oh.
No, I just been.
You know what? When we put it in, hold on. Great information. Oh, thank you, Stafford. Stafford said that was great information that you guys just gave. So that's great. What I'll do is I'll just add you guys' contact information to the comments when we post it. So that
comments. Oh, now I see the comments. Girl, I don't even know we have comments here.
Yes. Do you see it now?
Yes, I do.
It goes down in the comments. It goes down in the comments. Didn't you know that?
No.
Yes, and you don't know it goes down in the comments. Honey.
Now I know.
Yeah, you do know.
But you know why? Because I was on full screen mode, so that's why I didn't see the whole comments thing here. But I got you. I'm going to put in my correct
email.
I
want you to talk about them. Add the G.
Oh gosh.
Just add the G. You guys heard it. Add the G. No, but that's all my questions that I have, and I need to make an appointment with you, Emara, so that we can give me some money. Cause yeah, I need money this year.
Yes, I did receive your tax information.
Son's tax information. I haven't sent over mine yet.
Oh, that was your son's, girl. I've been so busy. I have not even opened your email. I just saw an email from Panda, so I just assumed.
That's for the man child. So the girl child has a job now.
Ooh.
So mad when she got her first paycheck and saw that they took $13.97 in taxes out.
And she's like, why? Why?
She was like, I want all that money that I worked for. I wish I recorded the video. So cute because I was like, baby, more money, more problems.
That's adulting. Adulting at its finest.
Yeah. Wait till you start making more money than this and you start to see them take out even more money. You're really gonna be upset. She's like, why am I paying for old people to have insurance? Because one day she was going and she was like, and what is this Social Security? And what is this insurance? And I was like, and I was breaking it down to her. Oh, entertainment. Yes, take a drink.
You should have definitely recorded that. That's hilarious. But I mean, and again, like Rik said, they don't teach these things in school. You know, not even when you're in college, unless you're me and take a taxation course or something like that. And they don't even teach you that. They teach you law. They teach you tax law. They don't teach you the fundamentals of what your paycheck looks like and stuff like that. And now you have teenagers and young adults. It's a big difference when they're now experiencing the real world. And how do they navigate that? If you were a parent who was unaware and unable to communicate and, educate them on these things, how are they going to be successful products in our community?
It won't be.
For sure.
I'm so happy I have people like you in my corner to teach me this stuff because I'm gonna. When was it that I really got into it with you? Maybe what 3-4 years ago, 5 maybe tops. Not you've just been a blessing. So as you teach me, I'm teaching them because my parents didn't teach me this stuff. They didn't know
Each
it.
one teach one.
Yeah,
I'm teaching my parents. I'm
exactly.
enjoying that.
My parents.
You saw I gave my parents an ultimatum, like, y'all want to be buried, you better have a life insurance
She
policy.
said, "I'm gonna put you in a bucket in the yard. You better act right."
Because that's all I can afford.
Yeah, my pops is real excited about his 7-something 20 credit score that he's never had in his entire life. And everything is just so I got a credit card, and so I'm about to make a purchase. I just want to run it by you before I make this purchase. Does it make sense? Yeah, so I'm enjoying that.
And it's lovely that we can educate them. We can experience like these moments with them because nobody taught them. They're doing it by themselves and learning. And the fact that we can, partake in these moments with them is definitely a rewarding experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for it all. Thank you guys. Do you want to send any shout outs of love to anybody while we're here before we go?
I just want to shout out my team, my man Aaron, my partner, and everyone that works with us that's just been going out there and really just sharing this information with people, educating people, changing lives, so it's really been a blessing. And so I just want to shout out the team and just keep doing your good work.
Appreciate that. Miss Emara Hercules. Anybody?
I want to shout out everyone who took the time out of their busy day, their busy Wednesday evening to tune in with us, listen us to gossip about money and finances. It's not always an easy topic. So I hope that they did, get some valid information, make them think a little bit. And then, of course, they have our contact information. We're always willing to, assist in any way that we can. Like Panda says, if we don't know the answer, if we don't do it ourselves, we will definitely find a way to get someone who will assist you in that. And shout out to you, Miss Pandagasms, for having us on and putting this together, reaching out to our community and our viewers. Education is important. So shouts to you for that.
Absolutely.
And just in case this makes it to international waters, this is what Scare America looks like. You're going to be coming to Scare America to work just to die. That's all you're going to do.
Everybody always wants to come to America and they don't understand. They don't understand. The struggle is real out here.
If you are internationally watching this podcast,
stay there. Stay there. Don't come here.
Scam. As soon as you file that first documentation to even get approved to come here, it's a scam. So, please know it's a scam here in America. We trying to get out and y'all trying to get in. It's crazy. I mean, it looks nice and pretty, but it ain't all that it looks like. We over here to pay Uncle Sam. It's all a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to put that out there in case you never know with social media these days and the internet how things can travel. I just
very much so.
That has thoughts of coming to America to know you are gonna work till you die. You gonna work till you die, and you still might be working after you die to take care of bills you didn't pay when you was alive. So
that's true.
With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in as well, as Emara said, because this is your time. You could have been anywhere else, but you're definitely here with us. We always appreciate you. We're here next week, Wednesday, talking about the 7 streams of income. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you share this live. It should be up for some time, and the edited version will be on next week. But for now, share the unedited version. I appreciate you. I love you. See you all next week. And reach out to my financial experts if you need any help with whatever they are experts in. Peace, love, and light. Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.